one of the other of my top 3 knots is the clove hitch. So there's also basically 2 ways to tie a clove hitch as well. You can do a midline clove hitch, which is just make a loop like that, and then you make another loop going the opposite way, and then you just put them like this, and it ties the clove hitch. But I don't usually use the clove hitch in this application too often at all. Maybe 10% of the time. If for whatever reason I set something up on the hand line, you can tie a midline clove hitch is what you'd call it. But I don't use it in that application very much. So you can literally take a rope and you go like that. So you have one end on the opposite than the other. So fold it and then put them the side of each other like that, and then you'll get a clove hitch. The way you know it's a clove hitch because the ends come out on opposite sides. I'll show you that closer here in a second. So that's one way you can tie a midline. The other way is put your end over your object you want to tie around. You go around it so it crosses it diagonally, and then you take your tail, you come up through the bottom of that. As you can see, like I was saying, your tail end is on the opposite end of your fall line. So, and then usually for me to finish off this knot, I throw in a half hitch around the fall line just to secure the knot even better. But I'll show you that here in a second, a little bit closer up to make more sense. So that's the clove hitch. Alright, so just to show you close up of tying a midline clove hitch. So, like so, so they're on the opposite sides, right? The loops, and then you just put them like that. And then you're going to have your midline clove hitch. But that's not as applicable. Like I said, I don't use it very often, but you can do it if you want to. If you need one in the middle of the line, you got a midline clove hitch right there. So you could just make sure these are on opposite ends, and then you just fold them and put them one in front of the other. Tying the clove hitch around something, this is where you're going to be using a clove hitch for the most part. So you go around the object, right? Like I said, I always put the tail on my right hand because I'm right-handed. And you go across your fall line, like so, diagonally. And then you go around the object again, so it looks like that. And then you're going to take your tail, and you're going to feed it up through right here. And that's what a clove hitch is supposed to look like. And then I always finish it off with a half hitch around the fall line just to secure that clove hitch. So this is an awesome secure knot for if you need to tie around something. Well, it's a hitch, and then sucker works really good. By putting a half hitch in there, you can always get half hitch out, and so this knot comes apart. So I always practice tying around my knots around something when I'm learning them. So I'll show you just right here. Take your tail, put it over your object you want to tie around, and then you put it over diagonally, and then you're going to come up, back up through right here. So you take your tail, come back up through right there, clove hitch, throw in a half hitch. And there you have it.